Greetings everyone, my name is Aaron Quintino Cada, and I will show you how our Penyo website sign up and admin registration work. So as you can see, it requires you to fulfill all the inputs, username, email, password, and confirm password to be registered. And there's also validation on it. So for example, if you don't put at symbols in the email, it recommends you to put one on it. And if your password do not match, it says password do not match. So let's try to register one account. As you can see, it successfully registered, but where the data goes? It goes on the database. User, where you can see the ID, username, email, and the password being hashed to protect your account. So now, let's proceed for the admin registration. It's also the same as the user registration or sign up. It requires you to fulfill all the requirements in the inputs. But if you're wondering, it it is the same as the user table? No, it's not. It will put on the admin account where the admin data will be shown and the password will be hashed also. So that's all for the admin and user registration and sign up.
Greetings, my name is Ciel Kenneth Iligan and I will show you how the user and admin login works. So here in the user, I will show you that the account that I will use is stored here in the users table on our database. So I will use the customer account. So after I log in, it will direct you to the home of our web page. So as you can see, if I try to log in an account that does not use the password, if I use the wrong password, it will show an error handling here. As you can see in the code, it will show you an alert that says incorrect password here. So you can see the alert here. And if I try to access an account that is not in the database, it will show you an alert message that the user is not found here. So let me show you the database. As you can see, there is only 2 accounts for the customer. So like the user login, it's the same as the admin login. So if I try to log in an admin account that's stored here in the admin table of our database, so admin gmail.com and the password, it will direct you to the admin page. And as the same as the user login, it has a error handling like incorrect password and user is not found in the database.
Good day, I'm Luvet Ryan Rick, and I will now show you how the profile works. So here's our username kirito123 and our email kirito123@gmail.com. So we'll edit our profile and change it to I will just change it to Asuna 123 and then Asuna 123 and then save the changes. So if we logged out our account, the Kirito123 will not work anymore but the Asuna123 will be the one who replaced that past username and email. So in this part, we can also add our profile and choose file, but in this case I will upload a picture of Kirito. So here's the profile, and even if we refresh it, it's still there. So when we log out our account, use the Kirito123 and Kirito123, it won't work. It says user not found, so we have to use the Asuna123 and then our old password, since we didn't change it. So that's all for the profile. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, my name is Dylan Miranda. I'm explaining forgot password, which of our system for both admin and customer. And here you can see the forgot password form to help the user securely reset their password. And the first step is select your account type, either admin or customer. And and then put the email that you use into register that and type your one new password. Like that. Then reset the sessions.
Damal greetings everyone. I'm Kenneth Ivan Elucido and I'll be explaining the home of our website. And as you can see, this is the display of the home. What we have here is we have a carousel buttons left and right, and view events button that will redirect you to events. And to see if the nav bar is working, I will show you the events, the ticket outlets, the view from seat, and book event.
Greetings everyone, my name is Edran Rocha and I will be explaining the admin event approval. So first, let's try to add an event as a user. Details, date, duration, organization name, number, email, add event. So your event has been submitted for approval. Let's go to the admin account. After I click the add event, it will assign post inputs to variables. Then it will prepare an SQL statement to insert new event into the database. So the event will be added here in the database. And then the status is pending. So next, let's try to approve this event. Event approved successfully. So what happens is, if I click the approve event, it will sanitize and assign values if it's approved or pending. In this case, it is approved. And prepare SQLs to update event status. The event will be approved in the database. So here, the status is now approved. Next, let's try to edit it. Let's try to edit the description. Finals. And save. Event updated successfully. So the description is now Lakers versus Dodgers finals. So what happens is, if I click the edit button, it will call the edit event.php. It first prepare an SQL update statement using placeholders to prevent SQL injections. And then it will update the description in the database. So let's go to the database and then Now, the description is now Lakers versus Dodgers finals. So next, let's try to delete this event. Are you sure you want to delete this event? Okay. Event deleted successfully. So what happens is, if I click the delete button, it will call the delete event.php. First step is delete any related bookings for the event to maintain referential integrity. And then it will delete the event itself from the events table. So after I click this delete button, it will also delete the event from the database. So let's refresh this database. So now the event that we've added earlier is now gone. So that's all. Thank you.
So, greetings everyone. I'm John Paul Ilomio and I will show you this part of code. So, let's start. When I click this will show you the different venues of different venues outlet, and that's all.
Greetings everyone. I'm James Andrew Jerusalem and I will be the one explaining the view from seat page. So when we click this button, view from seat, we will be redirected to the another page, which is this page, view from seat. So there are row for VIP, regular, and balcony, and also for general assembly. So this is the stage. If you click this button, this will be your seat. The image will show you of what will be the POV of you while watching the theater. So this is the VIP right, VIP front, and left, right rather. So this is the regular left, front, and right. So this for the balcony view, front, left, and right. So this is the view from General Assembly. So this the I will show you the code of how we program this page. So we created div for the VIP row, and this is for the regular row and balcony row. Also for the general assembly row. We created class row container so that we can put another divs. This will be the div for the seats, and we created the function on click. If you click the seat, it will be open the POV and show you the image. Also for the regular and balcony row. So the you can see there is a close button here. So this is how we do that. We created the div for model theater. If you click this, if you click this button, it says here that only close POV. If you click, the close POV method will be function, and also for the profile drop down and function close POV. This is the this will return the display is equals to none, so that if you click this, the display of image will be none. So that's all for the view from seat page. Thank you.
Greetings everyone. I am Yanlady Imelu and I'm going to explain how our seat selection works. As you can see here, we have if the session is logged in, well, this will ensure that there's a login user. Otherwise, it will redirect go back to login PHP. Now let me demonstrate. Well, as you can see, we are not logged in yet, right? Let's go to the event and let's try to buy 8 tickets. And as you can see, you must be logged in to buy a ticket and then redirect go back to login PHP. Going back to our program, we have a server request post and confirm booking. This will handle the seat booking submission and collect the data of what user did. like collecting what seat number they selected, what seat category, payment method, and the name. Here we have a function create seat. This one dynamically creates seat boxes for the user interface. Now let me show you, but first let's log in first. Then by ticket, and here is it. Now here's the function select seat. Well, this one handles what happens when a user click a seat. Let me show you. Let's try to select this one. As you can see, when we mark a specific seat, it's getting highlighted, right? Like that. Mm, and we have show QR model here. Well, this one will show the QR model and generate your code. Now let me see. Let's try to buy ticket. Let's say we're going to buy MC22, and the payment will be on debit card. Yung booking, yan daw. Okay. And as you can see, here's the generated QR code. Uh, Going back. And now we have a update sheet. This one, uh, this one will update when categories of the sheet is changes. Let me show you. As you can see, we bought this sheet, right? Once we change this category, let's say let's go to balcony. As you can see, it updates the sheet based on the category. And when we go back to the VIP, now we can see the sheet that we bought earlier. It clear all the sheets and redraws sheets layout according to category. And now we can see in our database or in our SQL the info of what the customer wants.
Dankal greetings. I'm Angelbert Malinyawe and I will be talking about the history of bookings, which allows a logged in user, to view their event bookings. So first, let's talk about the PHP code. So at the beginning of the code, a session is started to access the user data, and then checks if the user is logged in, and if they are not, they will be redirected to the login page. If the user is logged in, the username is retrieved from the session, and then the script then connects to the database and runs a query to fetch the bookings related to that username. So these bookings are stored in a variable and then shows them in a table. So in the table, each booking details is displayed with details like event name, booking date, buyer name, seat category, seat number, payment method, and then status. So for each booking, there are two action buttons, which is refund and then delete. So one for refunding and another for delete. If the book is already refunded, the refund button is disabled and it will be shown in green. I will show you the web page. So as you can see, there are three event bookings displayed of the user event bookings. And then this is the database. So as you can see, there's only three event bookings. So let's try to delete this event bookings. So right now there's only 2 event bookings. Now let's see the database. As you can see, it's only 2 now.
Good day, I'm the veteran Rick. So I will now show you how the ticket generation works. So first we have to choose a seat and then name it Ryan Rick Lovete. And then after clicking OK, a pop-up modal will appear that shows the QR code, download ticket, and back button. So I will now first show the QR code scanner generation of the ticket. So after scanning it, a link will appear here that shows the local host where the project folders and the codes are in. So if I click the go to, it will redirect us to another page which has the ticket. So here is the ticket and the details that we have submitted and chosen seat. So here's my name and the seat. So we can also download it as an image and as a PDF. Here's the example of the image that is downloaded. And here's the example of the PDF file that is downloaded. So we can now go back to the seat selection, and I will now show you how the download ticket works. So if I click the download ticket button, it will just redirect us to the ticket generation. So that button is just for the users that doesn't have a QR code scanner, so he can still go and download his ticket as an image or a PDF. That's all for the ticket generation.